Joining me now, Illinois Congressman Rajna Krishnamoorthi, a member of that committee. Again, I want to apologize for butchering your last name in the T's. I meant no disrespect by that, sir. But what do you want to know right now from Louis DeJoy at this juncture?
Well, I think that the president deserves points for candor. I think that the other day he said that he's basically not funding the USPS in an effort to hobble mail-in voting. And so we're going to be asking the Postmaster General a number of questions about the communications from the White House to the USPS. I'm going to be asking him questions about his own conflicts of interest. He has a $30 to $60 million stake in one of the USPS's competitor companies at the same time that he appears to be sabotaging the USPS's operations. That is wrong.
But that was also known at the time that he was appointed to that position. So what would you like to know about his actions since and how they could impact the November election?
Some of those conflicts were known at the time, but we've learned about new information, such as the fact that he's purchased options in Amazon at prices lower than their current market price. At the same time that he can affect Amazon's share price through USPS's operations. What we want to know about the election in particular is how do we make sure that the ballots and other pieces of mail that are associated with voting by mail are actually done in an expeditious fashion as they've been done in past elections, even the 2018 election. Now we're learning that voting by mail may not be done at first-class rates or first-class pace, which is what has typically been done in the past. In fact, now, unfortunately, first-class mail is being left at the docks, on the floors of post offices, and not being delivered expeditiously as they normally would be.
And I just want to let our viewers and our listeners know that NBC News, through Peter Alexander, is now confirming the Postal Service says they will not move any of those blue boxes for the next 90 days. But White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows today suggested if Democrats agree to a standalone bill on stimulus relief checks, they might be open to a standalone bill on post office funding. Is that a compromise you're willing to make?
I'm not sure that there would be support for instance, not allowing for an increase in unemployment insurance, or not allowing for increases in funding for schools that are reopening. I think that holding those hostage would not be acceptable. And I should just say one other thing. The president may be trying to do harm to mail-in voting, but he's also doing substantial harm to millions of seniors who are relying on the mail for their Social Security checks, as well as people who are relying on the mail for their medications. And so the collateral damage is enormous, and we're getting calls, texts, and emails from our constituents across the board, ideologically, who are completely opposed to what's happening right now to the Postal Service from the administration.
Representative, before I let you go, I want to ask you about the choice of Kamala Harris as the vice presidential candidate, the first Indian American on a presidential ticket. Tell me about the significance of that.
Well, you know, not only is Kamala Harris tough and ready to be the president, which is the #1 criterion for selecting the vice president, but yes, her story, unique story, embodies the American dream and makes women and African Americans excited, but also Indian Americans like myself. She brings some curry powder and spice to the ticket. She's going to excite voters, and I'm convinced it's a winning ticket, and we're going to be soon calling her Vice President Kamala Harris.
Congressman Rajna Krishnamoorthi, thank you so much for your time today.